Welcome back to CivilNet. I'm your host, Patrick Elliott. I'm delighted to be joined today by fellow Montrealer, Van Armenian. Van, thanks for coming. He's a professional violinist and the founder of the Atken Armenian Foundation.
Thank you, Patrick, for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the foundation. What's its stated goal and purpose? I know it's registered in Canada, but what kind of work does it do in Armenia?
The foundation, initially our goal was to basically discover talents, musical talents in Armenia and support them so that they can have strong foundations to build on. And I firmly believe that cultural ambassadors are an important element for Armenia. Great musicians, when they perform on world stages, they really give a great image to Armenia and are able to, advertise, in a sense, our goals, our cause, and our worries to the world. Yeah,
you can see. I like the way you presented it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Cultural ambassadors for music. I'm thinking of Vahakni, who's one of the world's big flamenco guitarists of all things.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a song with Boyka, a very famous flamenco singer. And
yes.
they did Hovarek by Comidas, which is really beautiful with like flamenco guitar. It's almost Spanish sounding, but it's you had essentially a black woman singing in Armenian, right? And it was really beautiful, and it's got millions of views and stuff. So
yeah. I mean, we don't need to go too far. I mean, Aznavour.
Yeah, that's true.
We can wonder why France maybe today is so close to Armenia. I'm sure Aznavour has an important part in this connection that is actually now very important for Armenia.
Yeah, that's true. Tell us what are some of the musicians that you guys are working with that you're excited about?
Well, we have probably some of the top young talents in Armenia that we support. Our scholarships range from $300 to $10,000. I can tell you a nice story that really exemplifies what our goal is. About 11 years ago, we were in Javakh, which is in southern Georgia, populated by Armenians. And we heard this young 9-year-old girl sing for us. And she had this huge contralto voice at 9 years old. So I was just completely stunned, right? And a few years later, I inquired again about her, and we started supporting her. We would send her to Yerevan for the weekend to work with a good teacher. And then eventually she moved to Yerevan and studied. We taught her, we financed her English, French lessons. We would send her to museums just so that she gets, cultural, a nice exposure, cultural bath, in whatever Yerevan could offer her. And finally we applied for a visa so that she can come to Canada to work with Alin Kutan, who is a Armenian Canadian soprano, probably the top voice teacher in Canada today. Many of her students are winning international competitions and all. So she came. We got the visa after 8-9 months of waiting, and Alin accepted her in her home. So every day, Anna Garsnyan, this girl, for the past 8 months, she's been going to all of Alin's lessons and gets like 2, 3, 4 lessons a week. And she applied for McGill. And McGill never gives scholarships for first-year music students, but Anna was an exception. Oh. And as you might know, for international students, it's like $35,000 Canadian, the tuition per year, which is crazy. And Anna got 2/3 of that amount as a scholarship, so about $23,000, which is unheard of.
Wow!
And my God, she's improved incredibly, and I strongly believe she will be an important cultural ambassador for Armenia.
Well, the question then is, does she have plans to return?
Well, you know, for example, for an opera singer, she can living in Armenia is ideal because it's so close to all the European centers. So, and she's very attached to her homeland, and it's not, you know, opera singers especially have to be traveling all the time. So,
because that's always the concern, right? Is that you mentioned Charles Aznavour, and you know, as much as we love him, he's French. He's Armenian, but he's French. In the latter years of his life, once he reached a certain level of success, he was a big proponent of the Armenian cause. But there's always that fear, right, that we end up giving our best and our brightest to others, and we lose them over here. Which look, I mean, naturally, I'm not gonna. Well, she has every right to go and seek her happiness in Canada and go around. But yeah,
I think we are at fault as Armenians to have not created an Armenia, to have not built a state that will attract everybody, all the great talents here.
Agreed.
Because for like the first 3 decades, it was corrupt, and anybody who had any talent would not be supported. So, but also for artists, it's important to go be international, because if they just stay in Yerevan, they don't get, you know, exposure to all the other influences and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the importance is for them to also then give back, right? She had this amazing opportunity, and hopefully I look forward to seeing her and you know, helping raise the next generation of.
I have no doubt. That family is a wonderful family. So,
tell us a little bit about the Zartonk Music Academy. What's the concept behind it?
Yes. Well, Zartonk Academy is part of a big project I presented to the Armenian government in 2018 or 2019, which included cultural revitalization in all the areas of Armenia, in all the provinces. And this is basically a summer music academy where we bring together the top talents of Armenia and the region to study for 2 weeks with top teachers. So I bring volunteer teachers from outside of Armenia, and I hire the top pedagogues from Armenia. And so under one roof, all the top talents that are usually meet only at competitions, here they meet, they live together, they play together, and they learn together, and it creates this incredible unity and friendships for life. And instead of sending each child to Europe or something like that to take master classes, we bring the master classes to Armenia, and we prefer regions. We started in Vanadzor in 2019, and then we were in Stepanakert in 2022. We did 9 concerts in Artsakh, and in fact, we were the last major cultural program in Artsakh before its demise. And this summer, we decided to do it in Yerevan for financial reasons. So, but it went really well. We had a wonderful partner, the Komidas Conservatory, who provided the rooms, the studios, and we did 3 concerts, including one in Dilijan. Yeah. And I must say our artistic director is the famous Armenian soprano Hasmik Bapyan, who has had an incredible career singing on all the major opera stages of the world. Hence, a wonderful cultural ambassador indeed.
Yeah, the musical talent is really the artistic talent in Armenia is really, really impressive, and it's funny because we have like such a right brain, left brain kind of mix in Armenia. You know, you have very, very strong sciences and high tech and engineering, and then you also have very, very strong creativity and you have this artistic awakening that you're seeing, which is really it's exciting.
The arts really help creativity, and it's helpful for scientists, for mathematicians to imagine new ways of thinking, or IT people to I mean, the arts is an incredible power force for humanity that is actually unique to humans, right? Yeah. I mean, dogs don't write symphonies, so so we should really take advantage of that unique gene, the artistic gene that we have. You know? And I sincerely think that everywhere in the world there's talent. It's just, will the people support this talent? And talent is not enough. Talent is 10%, I would say. 90% is work ethic and the support that you will get. For example, providing great instruments to great talent, providing good teachers so that they have a strong foundation to build on. There's talent everywhere in the world. Yeah. But as Armenians, we can decide to really support our own talents.
AAF is really focused on much more, you have a holistic approach to community building. Can you tell us a little bit about this philosophy and why you think it's important for Armenia?
Yeah. At AAF, I've really opened the door for any donor who has a project that is helps build communities. I say, go ahead, and I let them do their project. Of course, we supervise the expenses and everything, and so everything is Revenue Canada is approved. We work a lot in Viotsor, thanks to Antoine Terjanian.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him, right? He's wonderful. Him and Sheila, his wife, really helped us connect with the Viotsor region. And in Viotsor region, we have several projects that we do also with a community development NGO, which is a wonderful organization. They used to be called Unique Development NGO for some weird reason, because they're in Viotsor. But anyway, so we've thanks to that partnership, we've literally changed the landscape in Viotsor. We've planted about 40,000 fruit trees, and we have fruit cleaning facilities, refrigeration facilities, drying facilities, so that the farmer can actually sell their fruit for more higher price, right, and get more benefit. Otherwise, they just sell it right off the tree, and it's much cheaper, and they don't get that much revenue. And we also have an apiculture project. We've provided several beehives, or what are they called? To several farmers in the region. And I must say, for example, Tony Halebli, who's a businessman in Laval, Quebec, he's funded most of that project on agricultural development, and he follows every penny, make sure it goes to the right place, and I mean, he thinks like a businessman, and I just let him do his thing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, I like that. Yeah. There's this kind of idea that after the war that diaspora kind of is now hands off from Armenia, and there's a distance and so on. But I don't see that. I mean, like, it's very interesting to notice, right? Is that there's the talkers and there's the doers, and there's an army of Armenians from abroad who are present here or through their proxies here. Just working for the benefit of this place. No one was ever going to know their name, and no one's ever going to thank them for it, but they're doing it because they're motivated by something larger than themselves, and it's inspiring to see and kind of observe and be part of it and witness the tangibles that comes out of it. Let's talk a little bit about. I know that you guys do work with refugees from Karabakh and from the regions. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we started our work after the 2020 invasion of Artsakh, and we when most of the population was in Armenia, right? They escaped during the war, and we created some what we called resilience hubs, again in Viotsor. At that time, we created 8 choirs in different villages in Viotsor, where refugees had settled temporarily, And we created children's choirs with local children and Artsakh children. So again, it's about community building, and of course, music has this incredible power to empower and to create, imagine a better world. And it really helped them psychologically also to be singing, to create harmony. And interestingly, this was funded by Dora Sakayan, who is a very well-known professor who used to teach at McGill. And on her 90th birthday, she decided she wanted to raise funds for these children. So we created this project, again, with Community Development NGO. And it was very successful. And it was so successful that the Swiss Embassy funded it for, the Swiss Embassy in Yerevan funded it for 6 months. And we even, at the final concert, we sang some Swiss folk songs, the choir, and accompanied on canon. So I brought 2 of our wonderful canon students to Vajotzor to work with the kids. And it was just incredible.
Van, where can our viewers find you and support you?
Well, we're very active on Facebook, Atken Armenian Foundation, and Zartonk Academy. I have 2 different Facebook pages, and we also have a website, atkenarmenianfoundation.com. Yeah.
Van Armenian, thanks for everything you do.
Thank you for having me, and I hope we can continue this positive work in these very divisive times. That, like you said, just become doers and stop being hysterical about everything. Just do it. You can do it. Everybody has the power.
Yeah, be the change you wish to see.
Exactly.
Well, I'm happy that you're you're talking, you're walking the talk, right? You're actually doing, and it's there's so many more like you, and I look forward to seeing what kind of change this place will be like in 5 years. It's going to be staggeringly different.
Well, bravo for everything you do also, Patrick. You're an example to follow for sure.
I'm a degenerate, but fair enough.
Well, you have to be degenerate to change the world.
Thanks for coming on, Van, and thanks again for watching CivilNet.